What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. This is Blinkers Off. What's up, my man?
What's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm live again from Uncle Vito's for the second time today, everybody. So excited. My father-in-law turned on the sign, Uncle Vito's Bar, so everybody knows where I'm at. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. Had a great show this morning and ready for another one.
Yeah, you got Key up there yet, or it's still not working on that?
Yeah, I told him, I said, look, if I'm gonna promote Uncle Vito's Bar, you got to turn on the effing heat, man. So he definitely did. It's nice and toasty. I've got like just a little. It's a very thin shirt on. I feel comfortable, man. And listen, I'm repping my Blues. The Blues tonight, opening night. I can't believe it. So 10:30 here on the East Coast is gonna be the start time. So I'll be a little tired by the time that thing kicks off, especially because I've had like maybe 7 of these. But it doesn't matter. We're still excited.
Hey, that a boy. I've got my new Racing Dudes, but it's not coffee. Let's just put it that way. So, but no, thank you everybody that's tuning in right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you listen to us after the fact, make sure you tune into these. We're doing it today early. Usually on Thursdays, we're doing it on Wednesday. A couple reasons. Obviously, you have to leave next week or tomorrow, so you'd be traveling. But also, Fairgrounds is awesome, and they get the cards out so early. It's like, what the hell? Let's go ahead and do this thing. So. Big weekend this weekend with the Lecomte, a Derby prep, one that's kind of somewhat one of the rare ones, I think, this early in the year that produces some decent horses, it seems like. And then, of course, the undercard is awesome. I mean, the undercard's like there's some horses coming in these races that are going to be kind of blast from the past, some horses coming back. Wells Bayou coming out off a long layoff. So that'll be fun. So the card's really good. So it's a hell of a show.
I mean, yeah, I'm freaking pumped about it. I love this. Was out last Saturday. This card was out and I was able to dive into it. So I've had my picks for like 5 days. So I've been ready for this show. Right. Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I'm excited. And you're right. It's kind of the first, okay, we've got 4 or 5 horses that we might be interested in for the Derby. We'll see. Some of them will disappoint and some of them will run well. That's always how it goes. So yeah, it's gonna be a good show. Like I say, it's excited, man. Let's do it.
Well, I'll get right to the best thing we saw today. And I kind of thought, I forgot, I guess, that you would be wearing blues, but I was kind of thinking that I guess our best things we saw kind of correlates with what we're wearing today. I kind of thought you might have a Browns on. I would have the Chiefs, and we could have a little kind of go at it a little bit, a little preview. But so I'll let you talk, I guess, about the Blues, and I'm sure that's the best thing you saw today.
Actually, you know what? It was going to be until the Rocket Hour cashed a ton of tickets today. We've got a ton of Twitters. I got some emails. We got some DMs for Ricky. We had some customers and some watchers of the Rocket Hour cash a ton of tickets. Best thing I saw today, man. The Rocket Hour did very, very well. If you've been following my picks, 4 days in a row of profits. So that's great. Going to head into tomorrow and hope to do it again. I've heard from a little birdie that Mike Somich also might be on the show tomorrow. I don't know if that's for sure, but that's what I've heard. Yeah, so the Rocket Hour is growing. It's getting exciting. And yeah, people are cashing. So yeah, the Blues, the Browns, everything's great. I'm going to stick with my boy Ricky P, man. Rocket Hour. I love it.
Wow, I'd never thought I'd see the day, but there you are. Ricky P gets the best thing. So hey, and he has been really hot lately. Of course, you can get Ricky's Rockets on the website at racingnews.com. He covers tomorrow. He's got the picks for. Well, if you're listening to this tomorrow, but on Thursday he's got picks for Fairgrounds in Gulfstream Park. So go check that out at racingnews.com if you want a little bit more analysis from our boy Ricky P. All right, I'll go right to it. Best thing I saw has got to be the fact that I have a game to root for tonight. I haven't had a game to root for the Chiefs in going on like 3 weeks. It feels like so. It's we were off basically the last week of the season. We were off last week, and now coming to town are your Browns. How about that? I mean, who would have guessed that the divisional game would feature the Chiefs versus the Browns at the beginning of the season? But here we are, the Browns coming into Arrowhead. We should be going to this game, shouldn't we?
Listen, I thought about it, and I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to get home like Saturday at midnight. Like, I can't go to this. There's no way. So I wish, man. We totally 1,000% should. I think we both kind of joked of, oh, yeah, when they play each other, we'll go. And we never really thought they would play each other. Listen, I said on the Rocket Show, you have everything to lose. I have nothing to lose. Like the Chiefs should kill the Browns, but it's so much fun that the Browns are actually in this position. I think it's the tale of two franchises at this point. The Chiefs are obviously the best team in the AFC and probably, I mean, I don't think there's any probably the best team in the NFL. And you got the Browns who probably shouldn't have won last week. So they're living on borrowed time as it is. And now they go to Kansas City. Here's what I'll tell you. I think they're really scrappy. I don't think they're going to go down easy, but I think they're going to go down. So, but I'm excited for the game. I was beyond thrilled watching that Sunday night, went into the game. I told my father-in-law, look, we have to have a lot good happen early. Guess what? It did. Snap over the head, touchdown on the first play of the game for the Browns, and it just piled on from there. Thank you, Big Ben, for throwing like 5 interceptions. Thank you, Mike Tomlin, for punting in a situation that was just unfathomable that you would do that. Just maybe the dumbest coaching decision I've ever seen. And, here we go. We're coming to Kansas City. We're coming for you next week. Or this week, I guess.
Honestly, I think the Steelers probably would have won that game had they not punted. And that seems very much a stretch. But, I mean, the Browns, they had the Browns up against the ropes. And it sounds weird to say because they were losing, but, I mean, they were the whole thing had shifted. And it's 4th and 1, and what are they on, like the 40 or something? Like, I get if they're inside their own 20 or something, you're like, yeah, I mean, it's a tough call either way. But it's like, and by the way, you've been stopping them the whole game. I mean, the whole half at least. Yep. So it's like all the momentum shifted. So even if you don't get it for whatever reason, it's like hold them. And the worst thing is the 3 points. And it's like, I don't know. And it shifted from there. It completely shifted from there. So, congratulations to the Browns. And that was an unbelievable. I mean, and I'm not even a Browns fan. I had so many people text me. It's like, can you believe this is happening, this game? And I'm like, no. Like, you blinked and it was 28-0. And it just like that. And it kind of felt a little bit like Chiefs-Texans game last year in the playoffs where it just like real quick it happened. And it was a lot of mistakes. And, you looked at the stats. You're like, how do they have 28 points? It's like just a ton of crazy shit had to happen. But about the game this weekend, though, that is interesting. This is one of our commenters here, Browns plus 10, lock it in. And that's an interesting because it's from a Chiefs standpoint, we haven't covered a spread in months, and yet none of other than maybe like the Atlanta game, not a lot of the games felt real close. It's just that's the way they kind of play. And so, they should kill them. They're outmatched in every aspect of the game. Maybe the running game for the Browns might, be better than the Chiefs. But it's like, but plus 10, it's like from a scrappy team that won't go down easy and a team that on the other end that is dominant but can't seem to kind of pull away and kind of plays around with teams. Like, it's an interesting situation to be in if you're betting this game, I feel like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but to me, the thing I would look at if you're betting this game, look at how the Steelers absolutely shredded the Browns secondary, and think, okay, is Mahomes going to throw 5 interceptions? No, he's not going to. He might throw 1. He's not going to throw 5. So what's going to happen? I think the only way the Browns win is if they score like 45 points, and that's not likely. I think the 10-point differential there is mostly because I think Vegas is thinking it's going to be a high-scoring game. So, I mean, listen, I'm thrilled we're here. I have no expectations. I said on the Rocket Show, the Browns winning would be the equivalent of me walking down the street right now after the show's over, let's say, and I find $100 bill on the ground. It's like, wow, can't believe I did this. And that's kind of how it was last week, and that's how it'll be this week as well. But listen, excited to be there. I do think it will be entertaining. I don't think 45-20. That's my prediction for the Chiefs. Listen, I would love to be like, yeah, we're going to get you, Jared. But it's like, come on. I mean, they don't have a chance on paper. They really don't.
It is. It's starting to be a kind of surreal feeling. This will be the end of this because I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I mean, we're tired. We don't want to hear about the Chiefs.
Right. Let's get the fairgrounds. Yeah.
But it's like, it's starting to be kind of a weird feeling. It's starting to feel like we're the Patriots of the, like back in the day. Well, not the day, but 5 years ago, say, where you enter the playoffs and everyone's, you got a target on your back, and that's the way it's been all year. And you, as a Chiefs fan, we're definitely not used to this, So going into the playoffs, obviously we were the 1 seed last year, but kind of lucked into the 1 seed. And Obviously, maybe the competition was a little tougher in the AFC, but this year it kind of feels like, dude, if you're not in the Super Bowl, you guys did something wrong, and that's something that's kind of different. And yet you probably should get used to it, but it's a weird feeling. I'd much rather, I guess the point is, I'd much rather be the underdog in these games. Like it feels a lot better when you're like you said, the Browns, you're not really expected to do anything in this game. But if you win, guess what? It's great. So it's maybe one of the bigger upsets in playoff NFL history. So going into it though, it definitely is. It's a little bit more pressure because you're like, just go in, because if you lose to the Browns, it's like if you lose to the Browns at Arrowhead in the playoffs, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, anyways, Browns Chiefs Sunday, man. What?
Well, I was saying, it's one of those things. The one advantage the Browns have is they have no pressure on them whatsoever, just like last weekend. And the Steelers didn't really prepare, and that was it. So if the Chiefs didn't prepare and the Browns have no pressure, hey, maybe they can win, but probably not. What is this? If Chiefs win, Aaron shaves, and if Browns win, Jared shaves. Dennis, what am I going to shave, son? Like I shave like once every 4 days. Come on.
How about Halterman shaves his head?
No. No.
No. I don't think Halterman would take that bet anyway, even if he had a little bit of a beard. But
I'll tell you what. Let me think about it, and by the end of the show, I'll come up with a bet, Dennis. How about that?
There you go. I mean, the people, you're a Browns fan. I'm a Chiefs fan, obviously, and if people don't know that, and we gotta have something on the line here. I mean, you gotta have something. So it's whatever you're willing to bet, because I know you're the underdog. You're the biggest underdog of the weekend. So whatever you're willing to bet.
Okay, I'll think of something.
No money. I mean, we can bet money, but that's not fun. Let's do something fun.
No, yeah, okay. No money. I'll think of something by the end. I promise everybody watching. I'll think of something.
All right, let's get to the show. What everyone's tuned in for, I'm sure. Not Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs. All right, today's show, we're going to preview the $200,000 Lecomte Stakes. It's a grade 3. It's a Kentucky Derby prep at Fairgrounds on Saturday. Then we're going to give rapid fire selections for some of the remaining stakes action on the Fairgrounds undercard on Saturday as well. Let's go. All righty. The Browns for like the attachment rate.
Yeah, I like that comment.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Really good comment, Joe. I agree. They are. They're. I would call them lone sailor. Yeah, I think that would be totally accurate. I think they're a little better than attachment rate, but
I know that we've played before. Mahomes and Baker played in the NFL, but I know a lot of people are like, let's get this rematch of the the Texas Tech OU game where Mahomes had like 700 yards and whatever it was. Some of the most unreal throws you'll ever. I mean, you and I still talk about that game. But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be quite like that. It may be. I mean, the Chiefs will let anybody throw on them. So,
well, the biggest difference in that game that you're referring to is like OU would hand the ball off to Mixon and nobody'd touch him, and he'd go 60 yards for a touchdown. Joe Mixon was on OU at that time as well, and then Mahomes would like scramble, dodge 3 guys, break a tackle, throw for 60 yards. The guy's right, and the guy's like covering the receiver perfectly. Touchdown like that. like if Tech didn't have Mahomes, it would have been a 40-point game. Was what I'm getting at, and it ended up being a 7-point game because of him. No, they're Bravazzo. Yeah, I like that because Bravazzo's my boy. So that's funny. Anyway, yeah, it was a mismatch in that college game, except for Mahomes. I mean, we'll see. I'm thinking of a bet. I'm thinking of it.
All right, so we got Lecomte. We're going to do that, which is on Saturday. Then we're going to do rapid fire we're going to do 4 stakes races on the undercard, race 9 through 12. So we're really going to get races 9 through 13 here. So you're going to get really a nice little analysis of the, the last 5 races. So There you go.
Yep, should be fun. Late pick 5. Listen up.
There you go. Give it out right here on Bleeker's
That's
Off.
right.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Fairgrounds on Saturday. The Kentucky Derby Trail hits the Fairgrounds with Lecomte Stakes, grade 3 with $200K for 3-year-olds going 1/16 miles. Field of 11 shows up for this one. Kentucky Derby points on the line. Like I said, 10-4, 2-1 for your top 4 finishers. What do you think of this field? It like I said on the intro there, it's one of those races that this early in the year, mid-January, it tends to produce maybe not. I mean, yeah, you had War of Will in this race, but you always have some horses that feels like that it kind of make a run into the Derby Trail late into the season. So what do you think of here? I mean, obviously Brad Cox, and this Brad Cox, if we're playing a drinking game, every time we mention Brad Cox on this podcast, we're going to be wasted because he's got a lot of horses running this weekend, and he's got a lot of good horses running this weekend. And number 10, probably your morning line favorite. The odds aren't out yet. Mandolin, a horse that I wanted in the first round. I thought I was going to get. Brad Cox, Flo riding. What do you think?
Yeah, so this race is a bag of mixed tricks, I guess is how I would say it. There's a lot of just kind of horses that have kind of established themselves, but they've kind of established themselves not to be very good. And then a lot of horses that are kind of up and coming that you think, yeah, maybe they're decent, but they didn't really like jump off the page. It really is a mixed bag. I went to Brad Cox on top with the 10-horse Mandolin. I don't love this pick. This is a race I would play a trifecta in. I would not play this horse big to win. But Mandolin is who I landed with on top. Really has done nothing wrong in 2 races, stretching out a distance. I don't really think maybe a mile and a quarter is going to be great, but I think a mile 16th is going to hit this horse right between the eyes. I think he's going to like it. Established horse really doesn't like flash when he watches workouts, right? Just like he's good. He's not great. But you think about Fairgrounds, forwardly placed, long stretch, you turn for home. He's probably going to be like second or third, probably going to just be able to grind out the rest of the way and beat these horses because we really don't have like a standout. Mandolin is just, kind of a lukewarm pick for me, but I do think the horse wins. The other horse I was kind of looking at a little bit and almost put on top is the 9 Manor House. So you kind of have to think, okay, let's look at some that aren't established because I do think an up-and-comer has a big shot to win. Manor House won by over 12 lengths last time out at Laurel Park. Looked very impressive. That's the only race we got to see from him. So that's a little bit of a problem. But at the same time, he definitely looked like he had a lot of talent. My biggest issue with Manor House and why I didn't put him on top, I think the pace setup is going to be a little bit different for Manor House today. I think he is going to have some pressure. I think Beep Beep can pressure him. I think Midnight Bourbon can put on a little pressure. I even think a horse like Santa Cruiser, who kind of figured it out last time out, can put on a little pressure as well. So I kind of think the pace is going to be pretty hot up front. And that's another reason why I kind of went to Mandolin. He's going to be kind of stalking and kind of get the first jump on those leaders. So, but Manor House did show a lot of, a lot of talent. So he kind of scares me. But in the end, I hate it. I do think it is a race that could go a lot of different ways. But I think the likely favorite, we don't have the odds yet, but I think Mandolin's going to be the favorite. I think he's the most likely winner.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a horse that, like I said, that I wanted in the draft and I thought I was going to get. So I thought I was going to give him the first round. He's first round pick in the league, and so obviously I'm high on him here. I think he's going to be tough. Those two. What do you? You're a big time form guy, and I always use time form as a kind of a supplement to buyers, and obviously when I'm looking at the form and the numbers, just that's the one thing like. So the buyers are very comparable, if not on the high end, Mandolin being compared to this field. But you go look at time form, and he's mediocre at best when it comes to this field. So as a time form guy, how did you kind of end up landing on him still? And what do you do whenever there's that kind of vast difference between buyers and in time form?
Yeah, it was a little challenging for me to land on this horse because of the time form numbers. He got a 93 last time out for that win at Churchill Downs. And it's one of the lower ones in the group. There's no way around it. But I think for me, it was more of a, hey, it's Brad Cox, and he definitely progresses his horses towards the big races. So like you look at Aunt Pearl from a time form standpoint, and Pearl was a little bit behind those horses in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, but on that day was able to run the biggest race for a career. And I think He's very much, Chad Brown does this too. He's very much a stepping stone type trainer. Okay, now we're in the stakes. Now we're in a third start of the form cycle. Let's hit a top. And I think that was kind of what led me to it. Yeah, if this was another trainer, honestly, maybe I would kind of pass that up. I'd kind of say, well, I'm going to go elsewhere. But the confidence in Brad Cox led me to Mandolin more than anything else. But you're right. The time form numbers aren't great. And so that kind of leads you other places. But you go, who's the best time form number? Midnight Bourbon. Do we really think Midnight Bourbon's going to win? Do we really want to put Midnight Bourbon on top here? No.
Well, the problem is Midnight Bourbon ran that best time form number in the race prior, the Iroquois, where he got beat by Sitting on Go, which, I mean, it's like, so then you're like, well, Sitting on Go was awful in the Breeders' Cup. And then he got stomped in the Champagne to Jackie's Warrior and Reinvestment Risk. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to kind of use those numbers as a grain of salt. Like, okay, what is it? What did we see? What did the eye test show us? And to me, it showed me that number's a little phony. I think it was like a 107, I think, is the time form on that race. And the highest Mandolin's gotten is 93 on time form. Whereas in that same race, he got an 80 buyer, the Iroquois, and Mandolin 82 last time out. So, I mean, that's just kind of what I'm talking about there. And also, I think the fact, like you said, Brad Cox, a big factor there. Another factor is the fact that he's won both his races pretty much on cruise control. Like you kind of, and I know time form is very big on obviously speed, and those kind of figures. And so I think you got to kind of account that too. Like, again, passes the eye test. So Mandolin just seems like a logical horse here. He's won. Okay, so the next I'm picking Mandolin too. So. Not just picking, as this race, but, what if I put the line at 3.5? 3.5 legit Derby contenders into like April of this field. What is it?
As far as over or under?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say under. I think it's 1, maybe 2. I really do. Especially when you think some of these horses will be injured by the time April gets here. Yeah, I really think it's like 1 or 2. I think Mandolin's got a shot. And then there may be 4 or 5 others that I was like, okay, maybe like Midnight Bourbon, maybe like hits the board a few times and gets there. I get that. Beep Beep is a horse that's got a lot of upside. I think Santa Cruiser kind of has figured it out. Manor House, but at the same time, all those horses aren't going to get there. All those horses are not going to live up to what kind of we think they're going to be. So in that case, I would say under 3.5.
What about Proxy? You didn't mention really Proxy in this race. Obviously Stidham, Godolphin, winner of 2 in a row, both at fairgrounds, 2 for 2 at the distance. I mean, this is a horse that's got plenty of speed. Could this horse be a factor in the race kind of with these other ones that are going to set up a pretty hot pace?
It's possible. My problem is you look at this horse's 2 wins, set a really slow pace up front, and then just went on with it. Not going to get that today. There's going to be at least somebody out there, because there's 4 or 5 horses that have speed. So somebody's going to be out there at least, and I don't think Proxy's going to be able to hold on when the pace really quickens up for this horse. So that was kind of where I was like, yeah, I'm going to toss him for now. But yeah, listen, I think Proxy is a quality horse. I just want to see what happens when this horse actually faces a decent pace pressure.
All right, Magic just hopped on. No love for regular guy.
No, I don't. I don't know why they drafted him, and hopefully I don't. Like last week, I picked Easy Time, and the horse sucked, and so that was great. But now I'm going to dog on their horse, so hopefully I don't send them to the winner's circle. But I don't see a lot of positive for regular time. The regular guy. The one thing I will say, when this horse went a mile and 16th, it did win, and that was his first race at a mile and 16th. So maybe, but you look 2 back, got beat pretty handily by Santa Cruiser. So if I'm going to pick between Santa Cruiser and regular guy, I'll take Santa Cruiser. I don't think regular guy is that good.
I'm not going to lie to you right now. I did not know regular guy was on their team. So, so there's news to me. But maybe that I may have just definitely put the horse in the winner's circle for sure then. Yeah. So, okay. So you say under 3. couple legit contenders at best, but we're both on Mandolin, and we both think this horse, if there is a legit contender in here, and I'm talking legit, like, obviously you win this race, you're on your way to getting into the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
But, a horse like Mandolin is the horse that definitely should be on everyone's radar and should win this race.
Somebody's got to win.
I know, and you know what? I can't put my finger on it, but it has a feeling of one of those races that, Mandolin's going to kind of falter towards the end, and it's like someone's going to come and kind of pick up the pieces, and I just don't know who it is. And Mandolin just logically makes the most sense.
I kind of have that feeling as well,
but I just, it's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of have that feeling.
Beep Beep. I do know Beep Beep is owned by Paul, right? Paul's got Beep Beep.
Yes, sir. Paul Freebeers. I saw him last week at Lake Placid.
There you go. Maybe the only time in your life that will ever happen. So
maybe. Hopefully not. Maybe though.
Well, I mean, at Lake Placid, that the kind of the conjunction of all that. That's pretty crazy. What are you drinking there? You got Claw?
So we got the Claw tonight. I started with Miller Lights, and they didn't have any. We went to like a bar, and they didn't have Claws, so I drink Miller Lights. And then we came back, and they have Claws, but not Miller Lights, so switch to the Claws.
Can't go wrong with the Claws.
Ain't no wrong with the Claw.
All right. Race 9. Let's pull that sucker up.
Hope I'm not too hungover tomorrow, though, for the rocket show.
No one would like that. Ricky P will take over for you. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
I got a little Woodford in this bad boy. So.
Oh, nice. Look, Dennis is drinking Wild Turkey. It's not Wild Turkey Wednesday, Dennis. Come on, man.
All right, let's do this. Okay. We're going to do, like I said, races 9 through 12 left. The Silver Bull Day is the last one of Rapid Fire, and it is at an Oaks prep. So, and big shocker here, Brad Cox has got a couple in there. So,
sure.
It's kind of the theme of the show, Brad Cox. And again, if you guys, ask questions, thoughts, opinions, whatever, while we're doing these. All right. 3, 2, 1. Time for Rapid Fire, presented by Racing Dudes Premium. If you haven't checked Racing Dudes Premium out, go over racingdudes.com and go to the products page right now and check out all our products we have to offer. Ricky's Rockets. You got Soma Bombs and, of course, Racing Dudes Premium all on there. We have the next week. It's hard to believe we are talking about a week away from the Pegasus. We'll have a Pegasus wagering guide available on that coming soon. Pre-sale will begin in a couple days. So make sure you go check that out at racingdudes.com on the premium page. And again, free picks always. But if you want more information, go to Racing Dudes Premium on the products page. We're going to talk about the undercard here of the fairgrounds on Saturday. We'll kick it off with race 9, the Marie G. Krantz Memorial Stakes. It's worth $100K for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, going 1/16 miles on the turf field of 9. The line's up for this one. Again, we don't have odds, so what do you think?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is the favoritism is going to be between the 2 and the 5. The 2 is Jeannie B, and the 5 is Delika. I kind of went back and forth a little bit. In the end, I went with the number 5 Delika on top. Last time out, took a stakes field wire or a gate to wire here at Fairgrounds. I don't really think the horse is going to be out in front today. But when you look at it, this horse can come off the pace and run well as well. 4-5 starts back, comes from like 7th and gets 1st. Next time out comes from 8th and gets 2nd. So doesn't necessarily have to have the lead. That's kind of what I like about her, especially in a race where there's a lot of speed up front. And I think this horse can kind of just sit behind them, get first run on the leaders. This Fairgrounds turf course, a little bit different from anything these other horses are going to run on. So I do like that she has a win over the course already. So I went right back with a next out winner here. Hopefully this horse is going to be a next out winner. Number 5, Delika for Alstall. I love Alstall. I love Alstall, especially at Fairgrounds. So I'm going to go with the 5 on top.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is probably one of the tougher races
Yep.
that we're going to talk about. I went back and forth. Honestly, I really wanted to pull the trigger on Genie B, but the numbers I couldn't. The numbers are too low for this horse. Like if you kind of look at the horse in an overall sense, it kind of feels like this horse keeps getting better and better and better. And this is the perfect race for this horse to run in. But obviously, Flo opting to ride here for Mark Casse. Which I thought was interesting. The fact that Secret Message, who Flo rode last time out for Brad Cox as well, he chose Genie B, which that's a big. I mean, he's opting to not ride on Brad Cox there, going with Mark Casse. So I thought that was interesting, but the numbers just weren't there for me. So let's be clear: Secret Message should win this race, right? Like Secret Message has the overall ability, but this horse is a pain in the ass. Like She never wins races. She's got ability, but like her numbers always show that she should be good enough, right? And she just never. She hasn't won a race since May 2019. Okay, that's the last time Secret Message won a race. It's kind of unbelievable to think about it. That's been that long since she's won a race. I'm with your pick, number 5, Delica. I think this horse likes the fairgrounds, likes this distance, and obviously has been running pretty well. As of late, won last time out, like I said, going gate to wire. But, she did come off the pace, or at least kind of off stock of pace a little bit, 2 back or 3 back, I should say, at Kentucky Downs. She's come from way off the pace. I mean, so she's a little bit more versatile of a horse. So if the pace is quick, which I think it will be, Delica can kind of pick up the pieces. But, yeah, this is a tough one. Like, I don't love – I would try to get as deep in this race as you could. Right. Like it's as much as you can afford here because, Curlin's Journey, a horse that you look at that last race with Delica, Curlin's Journey, Secret Message, all those horses coming out of that race, I feel like could win this race.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Curlin's Journey is very sneaky. That's a horse 2 back. I played at Remington Park and was very happy. I also played the horse 3 back at Remington Park and was cussing all the way down the stretch as this filly got, or I guess mare now got 10th, beaten 10. But yeah, Curlin's Journey is a horse that could jump up. You kind of mentioned Flo going to Genie B, okay? And it is most kind of like, why is he doing that? Because you're right. The numbers really aren't there. When you look at, Cox versus Casse, he's going to ride for Cox. I thought that was really strange that Flo was on the 2, almost to the point, kind of a defensive use now, but and does it say more negative about the 3 Secret Message than it does to the 2 Genie B? I don't know. I was really kind of confused by that move. But I kind of think the quote unquote safest play is the one we're playing. It just seems like, hey, we won last time. We got the same connections, blah, blah, blah. One at the track, one at the distance, all this stuff. It's like, yeah, Delica kind of looks like the safe play here.
Right. I agree. Like, there's a little bit, everything else seems to be a little all over the place, whereas Delica seems kind of doing her normal thing and is kind of the class, so to speak, of the race. I agree. Like, and I guess you kind of have to be careful too sometimes with these jockey changes. Like, you never know. Like a scenario could be Casse knew he was going to run Genie B here, and he asked Flo. He said, "Hey, can you ride?" Because obviously he's been riding at a local rider, Woodbine. He said, "Sure." And then lo and behold, Secret Message ends up in the race. You know what I mean? He's like, "Well, I've already committed to." And so sometimes you got to be careful, like taking it all there. It's like that. This is what happened, and then he chose this one. So you never know. Another horse. Give me your opinion of the one, Joy Epiphora. A horse that's very odd. It's going to be a pretty big price, I think, here. Ran once on the turf, 2 back at Saratoga, and finished 6th, only beaten 4 1/4. The numbers of that race came back fairly strong for the horse, which puts the horse in the ball game as far as of this race. Like, is there any scenario? I mean, like a class play. I mean, obviously Churchill Downs, Saratoga. This horse has been running. Can you make a case for this horse at all?
Yeah, looked at this horse a lot coming into the race, trying to kind of think, okay, because I'm already kind of thinking for the product. Okay, who am I going to put in the top 3, top 4? I don't think this horse will make the top 4. I don't really know what they're trying to get accomplished with her. So came over from Argentina off the turf allowance. They kept her in it. She got second. And it's like, okay, we'll try a stakes at Saratoga. Got fourth, beaten 7. Not great. Okay, we'll go to the turf finally. Got 6, beaten 4, but ran the best race of her career in the United States. Last time out, back to the dirt. It's like, what really do you want to accomplish with this horse? I'm not real sure. There's a lot of question marks. I like that James Graham gets aboard. That's a good fairgrounds trainer, but end of the day, I was just really confused about what this horse is. She is more of a, I'll see how she runs and we'll think about it next time.
Yeah, there's way too, to me, there was ultimately just way too many factors. You're talking about one turf experience you have to go off of in the United States. And you're basically hoping that race, even though she got stomped in the race, I mean, she was quote unquote stomped in the race. You was like, okay, well, hopefully she's just better than the rest of these. There's way too many ifs, ands, and buts in this race for her in this race. So I'm with you. Number 5, Dalika.
I'm glad you brought up that horse because she is interesting. It's just, I don't know what to do.
Well, I wanted to go over, as many as I could because that's how I was handicapped. I was like, that's how I handicapped the race. I kept going to a different one. I'd be like, well, what do I like about that? It was tough to really come up with a decision there.
Well, that race, you just have to either go with the least amount of question marks or go with the question mark that you think is going to show the most improvement. I mean, that's what it's all about. Yeah, I'm with you. I just didn't really know what to do.
I can't wait for this race. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Next up, race 10, the Louisiana Stakes, grade 3 with 125K for 4-year-olds and up, going to 1/16 miles, field of 9 lines up for this one. Man, this is like the who's of horses we used to know, right? I mean, Grand Luigi, Captivating Moon, Silver Prospector, Blackberry Wine, Indamudge, Tyler Reddy, My Boy Jack. I think that horse might run in the next race. Wells Bayou. I said it earlier. Wells Bayou is coming back, and he's back. It's awesome for Brad Cox and Sonneman, a horse that just got beat by Maxfield not too long ago. So, man, it's a crazy field, right?
Yeah, you hit it right. It's the Boulevard of Broken Dream Stakes, no question about it. I mean, good Lord, there's so many shitty horses in this race. It's unbelievable. I just kind of went, okay, I think Wells Bayou, if he comes back strong, is way better than these horses. I mean, go down the list when these horses were 3 years old, like Silver Prospector. Yeah, he's better than that horse. Blackberry Wine. Yeah, he's better than that horse. Sonneman. Yeah, he's better than that horse. Okay, let's look at the older horses now. My Boy Jack. That's funny. Title Ready. Yeah, he sucks. And that's kind of what I went. I mean, it was just really tough to wrap my head around anybody beating Wells Bayou here, as long as he's back to his normal race. This horse, people may forget, it feels like it's been 5 years ago, but this horse won the Louisiana Derby last year in wire-to-wire fashion. And you look at the pace setup here, I don't see a lot of horses that are going to go with the 8 Wells Bayou. Now, I don't know about you. Maybe you can have a different opinion than me there, but I don't see a lot of pressure. And the ones that might pressure him kind of are off form lately. So I kind of think Wells Bayou gate to wire. I feel pretty damn confident in Wells Bayou, believe it or not. Yeah, it's a layoff, but it's also Brad Cox. And Brad Cox, whatever, it doesn't seem to matter. His percentages stay about the same. So, yeah, a lot of shitty horses. And then there's Wells Bayou, who may very well be shitty as well, but he might be the best of kind of a weird bunch.
Yeah, we haven't seen this guy since finishing 5th, beating 10 in the quarter to Nadal in the Arkansas Derby May 2nd. So it's been a minute since we've seen this guy. But like you say, Brad Cox, for however reason, he can get these horses ready off the layoff. So, no, listen, I think there's plenty of speed in the race. Having said that, this horse is the speed of the speed, I think, in this race. Obviously, a horse like Blackberry Wine, I think he's got plenty of early speed, but looking at the fractions of what this horse usually likes to run, he can't hang with that horse. So ultimately, I think that kind of ruins Blackberry Wine's chances because he's going to be chasing Wells Bayou around the track the whole way. Listen, I kept going back and forth between Wells Bayou, and you got to have the how long Am I going to take this horse off that kind of layoff? To Silver Prospector, that's the other one. And I think that's a fair kind of back and forth because, I mean, Silver Prospector has beaten Wills Bayou. He beat him in the Southwest last year. Silver Prospector is capable of running these big races, and we've seen that in the past. Ran a good race in October off the long layoff, and then came back, and they ran him right back into the Grade 1 Clark, and he just got stomped. I mean, it wasn't good, you know. I like that Santana is back on board after taking that last one off with Clark in the Clark. Listen, I think the pace will be hot enough with Wills Bayou, and I'm going to play Wills Bayou, so don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not going to just throw him out. But on a win side, he's going to have to show it to me, you know, because whenever he was winning last year, it was kind of like – it wasn't like he was like this hot prospect, right? He just kind of kept running well. So he's going to have to prove it to me. Obviously, he's going to be on my tickets, but I'm going to take Silver Prospector. He, obviously likes this distance. And I think the pace sets up enough for this horse to kind of – I think he'll look better than he really is. Let's put it that way.
You know, it's kind of funny you say that because when Silver Prospector, I can't remember. I think was he in the – what was he last time? He was in the Clark, right?
Clark. Yeah, the Clark.
Yeah, yeah. And we were talking about him, and you were kind of like, I kind of like Silver Prospector, but this is a really tough spot. And I think you even said it's like get him to the fairgrounds in an ungraded stakes, and I'm going to like him next time out. So there he is, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, it makes sense. I'll tell you this, Jared. I didn't put him on top, but I'm probably I don't know this 100% for sure. I'll know it in the morning when I kind of finalize the Saturday picks for fairgrounds. I think I'm going to play Silver Prospector and Wills Bayou because you're right. I for all the reasons you said, and Silver Prospector has shown some really sharp races. I mean, really sharp. And so now we're kind of spotted in the right spot. Yeah, the Clark was a little too tough for this horse. Now we're back where he needs to be. And the biggest thing is Ricardo Santana gets back aboard, right? So we talked about in the Clark how Ricardo loves this horse. We know that for a fact because we're Oaklawn guys, and we knew that Ricardo thought this was his 3-year-old, back February, March,
right.
When this horse was going along the Kentucky Derby Trail. So now he's back aboard, and that tells me that he thinks this horse is spotted to win. Yeah, I'm with you. I put out Wills Bayou on top, but Silver Prospector is definitely my other horse to use. Couldn't agree more with what you said there.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't. I felt a little sick picking Silver Prospector, but I think I loved. This is one of my favorite angles. Whenever if you like two, it's like, well, I like the horse that's I know is gonna flash. I don't think I'm almost positive Blackberry Wine can't hang with Wills Bayou on the front end, and then I think the best closers in the race is Silver Prospector. So you have those two, and I kind of like Sonneman a little bit. We're like, well, I mean, Santana's on Silver Prospector, and he could have picked either. So the fact that he came back after being off in the Clark, I think it says a lot too. So those two, I think, is the way to go in this race. So you can go pretty thin in this race, I think.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. Like we should probably get it. I think that we could get a decent price on Silver Prospector as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to do these, and you don't know the odds, but the card's been out for like 6 days. I do agree with you, Steve. I think you're going to get a square price on him because I think Wills Bayou is going to be bet down pretty hard. So yeah, I'm with you.
All right, this one's a clusterfuck. So
yeah, this one sucks ass.
This one, yeah, this one's rough. All right, 3, 2, 1. Race 11, the Colonel E.R. Bradley Stakes with 125K for 4-year-olds and up, going 1 mile and 16th on the turf field of 11. Lines up for this one. My boy Jack, it's almost to the point where like, can neither surface be the option? Because I don't know which surface, but he might run in here. It's kind of wide open. I mean, let's be honest. Mr. Misunderstood, another Brad Cox flow combination there. Is this the horse to beat? I don't know. This race is awful.
So here's a fun fact that I just learned today. Mr. Misunderstood's going to scratch. He's actually been retired. So I have no idea why they entered him here and then retired him. So that's interesting. I hope you didn't pick him. So if you did,
I didn't. Don't worry. I did not handicap. So that's positive. So
yeah. This is very much a pick an angle and hope you're right, because there's 100 million different angles to pick here. I kind of use the same theory of the 9th race as I'm going to use for the 11th race to pick a winner. I did this at Gulfstream Park a couple of weeks ago, and both the horses won. So hopefully it happens like this again. I'm just going to pick the horse that won last time out over this track and come right back and play him again. And that's the number 1 Logical Myth for me. And if you look at your past performances last time out, Logical Myth, a winner in a $75,000 stakes at Fairgrounds, now is going to come right back in a race that on paper you would think would be a little tougher. But when you really look at it, I don't think it's that much tougher, if at all. And another horse, just like the horse in the 9th race, Talika, that I picked, another horse here in the 11th with Logical Myth, I think is just going to stop the pace, kind of get that pocket trip, give all the ground. Hopefully some room opens up at the top of the stretch. First run at the leaders. If the leaders start to come back a little bit, this horse is going to get the lead, and it's just going to be a matter of who's closing behind him. So I'm going to go Logical Myth for 2 in a row. And another thing, and our boy Ricky P talks about this a lot on the Rocket Hour. He loves horses that are very consistent. And if you look at Logical Myth, this is a very, very consistent runner. Finishes on the board a lot. So for all those reasons, I'm going to go right back to Logical Myth here in a wide open race.
Dude, I love that. I love that pick. That was a horse that I was back and forth with. Loves Fairgrounds, this horse. 4 for 5 at 4 wins and 5 starts at Fairgrounds. Distance-wise, it kind of go up in the air. 10 starts, 2 wins. But really, this horse seems to be getting better. Like you're jumping on this horse right now because this horse continues to improve. And like I say, obviously loves the Fairgrounds. The chat right now on our live stream is unbelievable. I'm trying to hold together by talking, and I glance over every once in a while. I see you commenting every once in a while, so I know it's good. Listen, I like your pick. Another one, Murad, a horse I think is interesting in this race. I think is like this. Like we talked about going really thin in the last leg. This is one if you buy as much as you can. You buy as much as you can in this race. I like my top pick is number 4, Big Agenda. I love this horse here. I think this horse is going to run a big race. Just because this horse, that's all this horse does at this distance. At this distance, this horse 9 starts, maybe only has 2 wins, 6 seconds. So that might be frustrating. I get it, but also this is not really a tough race, Mm-hmm. So 6. This horse has one time has not finished in the top 2 in running this distance. Never ran a Fairgrounds, but you get Mike Maker, you get Santana aboard who team up for over 20%. So I love that as well. This horse, you look 2 back in the Sycamore Grade 3, finished 6, only beaten 3 3 3/4. Zayad, Postulation, Red Knight, all those horses would be good in this race. 2 back, 2 or 3 and 4 back winners. Again, allowance races, but is this not kind of a glorified allowance race? I mean, it's just not that. It's not great of a race. I love this horse's closing kick. I think this horse will be good here. And I love Santana. I love Santana jumps on here. So it's kind of a weird. I've had pretty good success when you jump on a maker that is going to be a price, and I think he's going to be like what 6 to 10 to 1 somewhere in there.
I look at the past performances. Yeah, I do. I think that. I think you're going to get every bit of that. So, yeah, I mean, he's another one I'm going to use. Definitely going to use. Going to be in the top 4. If you buy the premium picks on Saturday, you're going to see that horse listed. Just couldn't pull the trigger as far as on top, but I don't really blame you for doing it, especially because you're right. I think you're going to get a price, and that's probably what you want to do in here. You definitely want to include a few prices.
Well, and the thing, like you say, like with the one, another very consistent horse, you want consistency. The Woodford is kicking in. You want it. So it's like your horse has it, my horse has it. They may not win, but you at least want to know the horse is going to give you a shot, and that's what you're looking for here. So I went with number 4, Big Agenda.
No, the chat is golden. The chat is golden right now. We got Magic asking Dennis what previews to write for the site. Dennis is drunk and can't answer him. And then you've got Magic saying Mr. Misunderstood is retired, and Ron McKinn says then he probably will not win. That made me laugh very hard. Christopher Potts. Yeah. Hey, you bet. You bet. We've gotten so many messages and you're another one. That's great. I love everything you said, man. I'm so glad you're listening. So glad that I was able to help. And I don't like the go Chiefs part of it, but the rest of it, you bet.
Go Chiefs, baby.
Yeah. No, that's great. We've had a lot of people say that. Really appreciate it. Ricky and I really love doing that show. Magic's been on. I don't know if Magic loves it or not, but yeah, we like it. It's fun. I can say this, that show has kind of helped me make wagers as well, because you put a little extra emphasis on just 4 races. I've never really done that. Break down 4 races and say, how do I make money on just this 4? I've always looked at it as an entire card. And I've been pretty profitable when just focusing on those 4 races. So, yeah, it's been a good show. Glad to help. Really glad to help.
Will Halterman be able to make it on the show tomorrow? That's the question. Tune in.
No, I'll be there. Listen, this is only like 9 or 10 of these, so that's no big deal, right?
How many Miller Lights did you have prior?
I had 2 Miller Lights, and then I drank a jug of water because I'm scared of kidney stones, because I had one in the summer. It's horrible. So I drank a jug of water, and then I drank like 6 White Claws, and I've had some more water. So
you're good.
Trying to mix it in.
Remember the days whenever you used to make fun of me when I would order water between my drinks, and you'd be like, "Oh, you gotta keep drinking." Like,
yeah, and then karma hit me with a 7-millimeter kidney stone. So
right in the dick.
Yeah. So that kind of stops your tracks of, hey, don't drink water, pussy. You know?
Yeah. You got punched right in the dick really hard.
So just to show everybody, when you get a kidney stone, you buy one of these and you drink about 6 of them a day. So when I'm on shows and you see me drinking this, it's because I'm terrified.
Give those to you. It's like a parting gift. After you have they take the kidney stone and they give you a jug of water.
Right.
All right, last one here. Let's do it. It's a Oaks prep. All right, 3, 2, 1. And finally, race 12, the Silver Bullet Day Stakes. It's worth $150K for fillies. 3-year-olds going 1 mile and 70 yards, and it is a Kentucky Oaks prep race. 10-4-2-1 for your top 4 finishers. Phil and 9 lines up for this one. Brad Cox has got a few in here, and I've been hearing a lot of good things about both these Brad Coxes. Number 6, Divine Comedy, and number 9, Sun Path, both for Brad Cox. What do you think of these two? What do you think of the race?
Yeah, I think Brad Cox is going to win, and I followed Florent Giroux with Sunpath. I thought that was the big thing. You look at these 2 horses last time out, Divine Comedy and Sunpath, both rode by Florent, and then Florent jumps over and chooses Sunpath. So that's who I went with on top because of that, and because of, hey, he won by 12 3/4 last time out over this track. That's always a good thing as well. So I think it's a nice horse. I think Brad Cox wins with Sunpath. I kind of feel about as strong about this horse as I did about Wells Bayou a little bit earlier on the card. I just think that they might just be the best. The only other horse that I think might maybe challenge is Super Sensational. Gets to the dirt for the first time, so that's questionable after 2 synthetic wins up at Woodbine. You look at the breeding, though, this horse should like the dirt just fine. So yeah, I'm going to go with the 9 Sunpath on top, but I think the 1 Super Sensational is worth a look here as well.
Yeah, there's not much to not like about Sunpath, and I've been hearing about this horse for a long time. Obviously, Juddmonte owned, so shout out to RIP, right, to the Prince that passed away this past week.
Thing, but.
I mean, we're not making fun of it. Don't get me wrong.
No, bad for the guy. That was
I know.
in mind.
Obviously, he's produced a lot of good horses over here, and horses from overseas that have come over here. So, but Juddmonte, Sunpath, Brad Cox, Flo. It's like you say, follow Flo, right? Loses on debut, and the last 2 have just been awesome, especially stretching out to this distance. What we're going to see today at Fairgrounds, won by 13 lengths last time out. Again, you kind of have to we see it a lot of times with Bob Baffert horses, Brad Cox. You get an idea of the good ones before they run, right? So you start to know. Sunpath's been a name that we've known for a while, and Sunpath is obviously bred to run, and this horse seems like is a runner. So I agree. Sunpath is the pick. To me, play the Cox horses. Don't get tricky with that. And I agree. I think I think Super Sensational is interesting. What do you think of Princess Theorem?
Yeah, Prince of Theorem. I mean, it's not a Cox runner, so that was bad. But gets Ricardo aboard. I thought that was a really good sign. My thing with Prince of Theorem just didn't do any running in the Golden Rod. You'd like to see that horse run a little bit better. But, Johnny Velasquez was aboard there, so you kind of had the feeling that horse was going to do some running. Just didn't. And if you're looking for an upset there, possibly, but she wasn't for me here.
Yeah, she got. I mean, she did get beat by Travel Column, but she got beat by a lot of other horses in the race too. I agree. Like she looked like to me was a really promising horse going into that race, the Goldenrod, and so kind of faltered big time last time out. But I think it's the way the pick 5 is structured. I think you got to go super deep in a lot. We've kind of noted that, and then here you can go two Brad Coxes if you want, or you can throw in the one horse as well. We made mention 2 races back where you can go pretty thin in that one. So to me, it's like you can go. I don't know if there was a single in these legs, but you can go pretty thin in a couple of them, and then go really deep in a few others. And I think you got a good chance of being live going into there. And if you're live to Sunpath and Divine Comedy,
yeah,
I mean, I think I like your chances. So you and I both on Brad Cox's number 9, Sunpath.
Yeah, I mean, it would be just like Cox to win with Divine Comedy here, but
yeah. How about his 2 horses, Godolphin and Juddmonte? I mean, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. The guys kind of got some good connections after starting off with not such good connections. So
exactly.
Magic made a point. I hope Juddmonte kind of keeps their operation together. Because the Prince was the one that really pushed that. So be interesting to see what happens.
See some Sting comments on here. You got some Sting wrestling tonight.
No, he's not. He's not wrestling, but he's kind of been involved with Darby Allin, who is wrestling tonight. He's got a big match. Darby Allin does. So we'll see what happens. Kind of likes to go out, hear Sting, and everyone runs, and he does nothing. Only way I want him to get involved if he actually gets involved. That's what I'm saying. Do you think he physically gets involved tonight, Dennis? I agree. I'm sick of him just walking out. Let's see him do something tonight. That's what I'm saying. I hope he does. I think tonight's tonight. They've been building up to this Darby Allin stuff forever. So hopefully tonight's tonight.
All right. Let's close this sucker up. All right. 3, 2, 1. So tell me, check us out on racingnews.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our handicap products link at the main menu of racingnews.com to learn more. Remember, the Pegasus World Cup next week. Be on the lookout for the upcoming wagering guide. We'll have that available, pre-sale available pretty soon. Obviously, next week we'll have the wagering guide available. We won't be there. It'll be the first time in the history of the Pegasus that we won't be there. So it's kind of a sad day, right?
So should we explain to the people why we're not going to be there?
I think we should.
So listen to this. Breeders' Cup, you get a COVID test 72 hours before you arrive. You submit it to the Breeders' Cup. They say, okay, obviously if it's negative, you're good and you're in. Pegasus, at minimum, even if you have a negative COVID test, after you travel, you have to quarantine in Florida for 7 days, get another test, and then they allow you in. Or you have to quarantine for 10 days after you travel, and then they allow you in. So long story short, we would have to be in Florida a week before the race actually runs, and then they would allow us in. So we're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that.
And both of which, well, I have a confirmed positive test. You never really did, but you think you had it.
Right.
So both of us could test positive again. Also, if we get in as press, like our options are like the awesome press room that Halterman loves and the rail. That's it. Like you can't go in the paddock, you can't go on the backside, you can't go, in the winner's circle, you can't do any of that. So we're like, well, shit. What do we like? Even at like best case scenarios, we get in. What are we doing? Like we just stay home. We'll watch it. We'll do a live stream together, and just hang out. So it's unfortunate we're not going to be able to go, but obviously COVID has ruled everything. So it continues. Hopefully we can make it out to the races eventually. Another race besides the Breeders' Cup, but yeah, man, it's crazy. You and I both were like, we didn't even ask. We're on the same page. Like, yeah, fuck that. We're not. We're not going out there.
Say, blah blah blah. Here's how you get credentials, and then go to the Pegasus website and look at the protocols. And I assumed you have to get a negative test, which I have no problem with getting a negative test. I understand.
Right?
That.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I hate getting tested, but at the same time, if it means I can go to the Pegasus or other events, I get it. I'm all for it. And then you look and it's like, well, yeah, you got to get, stuck up your nose and then you're quarantined 7 days. You get stuck up your nose again and then we'll let you in. It's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm not sit in a hotel room in Florida for 7 days to go to this shitty race. So it's not going to happen. That does not mean we won't have coverage. That does not mean we won't be live, going live during the day. It doesn't mean we're not going to have a guide. It doesn't even mean we're not excited. It just means we can't be there. So sucks, but yeah, we'll have wall-to-wall Pegasus coverage next week, and I am excited about it for sure. But I hate the protocols. I mean, I don't know if we'll be back at Gulfstream ever if that's what it takes,
Yeah, dude. I mean, it might be better. I mean, because we'll be able to be more involved on the stream, and we'll be kind of like we did with the Derby this year. You and I, we were together, Oaks and Derby, where we just hung out and live streamed basically the whole day. So that's something probably we'll do for the Pegasus as well. So make sure you look out for that. Make sure you go to check out racingnews.com. It's your destination site for all free horse racing picks and information, including coverage for all major horse tracks running in the United States. We're on Twitter at Racing News, Instagram, and Facebook. Facebook, you listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, even website, racingnews.com. I was instructed by my boss, Magic, to tell you that the Magic Mike show is previewing Saturday's Fairgrounds late pick 4 on Thursday, so tomorrow. Today, if you're listening to this on the pod, basically they're previewing what we just did. So if you want to compare some opinions and then make your tickets, that would be a great way to go about that. Dr. Miranda is previewing the Silver Bullet Day. That recording will come out on Thursday as well. So Dr. Miranda, and then Magic is going to ruin Aaron. This is word for word. Magic is going to ruin Aaron's hot streak when he steps in for Friday's Rocket Hour. So Magic will be on the Rocket Hour. So Halterman will continue to light it up on Thursday, and then on Friday, Magic will be on Ricky's Rockets and screw everything up.
Yeah, Magic gonna come on Friday because I will be traveling back home finally. So check out Magic Friday. I think he did Shitty Wednesday of last week, and he was on, and then and then I came and cleaned up the mess Thursday and Friday. So hopefully I set him up Wednesday and Thursday. Today was just a freaking excellent day. No other way to put it, and hopefully tomorrow goes well. And then maybe Magic can kind of clean up his act. So yeah, very excited.
All right. Did you think of a bet?
Oh boy, I forgot about that.
Chiefs Browns. Kind of thought you might have something. Chiefs and Browns this weekend. Let's see.
Let's make it to where we have to do something on the next podcast.
Yeah, of course. So I've already got what I want. I already got what I want you to do.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we talking win or cover? Like, are we playing spread? No, or are we just talking win?
Straight up. Because at the end of the day, for you and I as fans, it doesn't matter if they cover or not.
Yeah, you just want them to win.
You just win by 1 point. Do you really care? No, they're on to the next round.
Right. I was gonna say if the Chiefs win, you have to host the next show.
Like I have to be the host?
You're me. And I get to be.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. So consider how generous I was there, because my odds are very good that the Chiefs will win just based off the Vegas odds.
Yeah, that was nice.
So I'm not gonna make you do anything crazy.
Yeah.
So if the Browns win, which would be crazy, What do I have to do?
Since you hate Baker Mayfield so much,
Okay.
if the
I know
Browns
where this is
win,
going.
if the Browns,
Okay.
it's not going to be embarrassing at all. Well, I don't know. You may think it is. I'm going to bring you my Baker Mayfield jersey. You're going to have to wear that the whole show. And you have to say within the show, you have to say this 3 times, that Baker Mayfield is one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. You have to say it 3 times during the show.
Okay, so I want to change mine to you have the same deal plus you host.
Okay.
You got to wear the Mahomes jersey.
Okay, that's fine.
And you got to say, which that's not hard to say, but you got to say Mahomes is elite. But okay.
Well, okay. Let me make this more interesting because I've said Mahomes is elite 100 times. So that's really not a punishment. I'll wear the Mahomes jersey. I will host the show. And if you lose, you have to host a show like normal, but you have to wear the Baker jersey and you have to say that he's elite 3 times.
Okay. Okay.
Because, listen, I'll go ahead and say Mahomes is elite, but it's really not. There's no point in that, really.
Right.
I think
you've said it. You have said 100 times. You said that he's the best quarterback in the league. You've said. I mean, so I know that's nothing. But me saying Baker is that will hurt. So yeah, I agree.
Right. So there's 2 hurts.
Obviously,
2 hurts to it. You have to wear. There's 2 hurts. You have to wear the jersey and you have to say that. And there's 2 hurts for me. I have to host the show and I have to wear the jersey. So it's 2 against 2 as far as the hurts.
There you go. There you
go. No,
yeah.
I like it. That's good. It's friendly, but it's kind of funny at the same time. And you can make fun of me hosting the show the whole time. I mean, that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, if you're hosting the show, the perfect scenario is you're hosting the show next week. I'm just gonna just lollygag around, and you're wearing the Mahomes jersey. It's gonna be perfect. That's perfect.
That'd be funny. I agree. Okay. All right. No, I'm good.
There's the bet. So this weekend, Chiefs and Browns, they just have to win. It's just a winning bet. It's not a cover. Just Chiefs versus Browns. Whoever wins, that's the bet. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck to you. You don't need it. I do need all the luck in the world.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. I believe word is we will be back again on Friday night for another what we call the happy hour, degenerate hour, handicapping degenerate hour. So that was fun. We almost hit that damn thing, the pick 4th. That was brutal. But we'll be back. We'll be talking about, of course, NFL games, previewing that. And it's just a fun time to get a bunch of degenerates together, drinking and do some handicapping. So make sure you check us out on Friday. Remember to check out Magic Mike's show tomorrow. Check out the Rocket Hour tomorrow. Check out Dr. Miranda tomorrow. So it's all going to be all over the place. So I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Alterman. Good luck this weekend. Go Chiefs.
So hold on before you go off live. Dennis, are you saying you would do an AEW show? Like, what are you saying? Because I'll be on it if you do one. I'm reading your comments. I don't really know what you mean by that, but if you do like an AEW show, I will be on it. I promise. I'll do that for you. I'll definitely be on. But I have no idea what AEH is.
All Elite Handicapping.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. That's what he said earlier. All Elite Handicapping. AEH.
A long time. I would love for you for a card. It's picks thing. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I would do that too. Yeah, just tweet me. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Yeah, just let me know.
You're like the guru of streaming. Like you're on every feed I look at. Every feed I look at, you're on it.
Yeah. I think I have a problem. If you want to talk racing, like I'll just talk to you. I don't really care who you are or what you do or what the format is or anything. I'll come on. I'm a race war. I've decided. I'll just do anything.
Yeah, it's good though.
That's fine. We'll do that too, So
I'd like to listen to a show between you and Dennis talking about some wrestling. That's what I'd like.
Well, I thought that's what it was. I thought he had an AEW show. I was like, oh man, I'll do it.
Yeah, you kind of lit up on that one.
Yeah, and then he said, oh, it's picks. It's like, well, okay, I'll do that too. But
you're more excited about the wrestling, yeah.
I was. Yeah, but that's all right. I'll do picks too.
All right. I'm sure everyone, thank you for tuning in. Halterman, good luck to you and your Browns.
Thank you.
This will be fun. So, a little something on the line. And hopefully next week you see Halterman wearing a Mahomes jersey. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully I am not wearing a Mahomes jersey.
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.